This is from Kiera, Freya, Ella, Hannah,
Mimi,
and Cassie. Okay, the first question. How did you get into the movement?
Through the internet. For me, I found out about it through the internet, and then went to meet a couple of people from the movement in London and became active through that. The very nature of the movement is educational, so that's how I found out about it.
I found out because a friend of a friend told me about the first Zeitgeist film, which doesn't really go into a lot of the things. It doesn't go into any detail on the resource-based economy. It was pointing out some of the negative attributes of the system we live in, and then I went on to check out the Zeitgeist Addendum, which brought out the fractional reserve-based monetary system, and went on to define the resource-based economy, if only relatively briefly, and then moving forward, Zeitgeist Moving Forward, which outlines the train of thought in more detail. And that's how we found out about it, basically through the spread of, ironically, a new medium of communication device called the internet. Technology does change the way we think. It does change the way we view the world. The internet is proving that by being an open source of information for people to learn about things that have previously been shrouded from them, from the powers that be on this planet. So that's how we've come to this train of thought, essentially. Is there a way to adjust your day-to-day life to fit in with these values?
Yes, there is. First of all, find out as much as you can about this train of thought, and then once you know enough about the failings of our current system, you know how not to participate in it. Non-violent non-participation is what we advocate. So things like, next time you want to buy a can of soda, drink, Pepsi, Coke, whatever it is, do you actually need it? Do you actually need it, or do you just want it? Start trying to live according to your needs rather than your wants. There's loads of things, and they all tend to present themselves as soon as you understand the.
That's the main thing. There's loads of things that present themselves. How you have your relationships with people, what pushes you buttons, what gets you annoyed. How to approach situations differently, like I say, in relationships, in your life, in all sorts of different things. But I've only noticed a positive effect in mine. I get a lot less frustrated by irrational human behaviour because I know where the source of it comes from. And I think, don't worry, I'm going to Monk's Walk tomorrow and I'm going to talk about the train of thought then, and I'll get it all out in my presentation. So in terms of these, what you can do constructively, watch out where you bank. So if you bank with a bank that's renowned for supporting war, child trafficking, prostitution, and these sorts of things, and drug trafficking and things like that, then move banks. That's one thing. Get out of debt. That's another thing, because debt is essentially how they enslave you.
A self-awareness of how you react to advertising as well.
Yeah.
Even if you're just that little bit more self-aware next time you see an advert on TV or the internet or out in the street, and you think, why is that being advertised to me? What is my reaction to that advert?
You're just more analytical of your own reactions, more analytical of your own behaviours. When you come to this, which is good, because you may start to. It does change the way you think, but as I said, it's only in a positive sense. But you can get yourself off the grid as well in terms of objective things that you can do. You can do what me and Christian here have done, where we've gone into a school. You can set up debating societies or whatever it might be. I don't know, whatever your talent is. This is very important.
And whatever you love doing.
Exactly. Whatever you love doing, put it into action, and seek your own happiness. Don't seek I would say don't seek a life of profiting off other people's problems. I really don't see how that's something that you come to this planet to do. Personally, I certainly haven't. Is the aim to get rid of all systems that exist and start again? What is the aim? It's not to get rid of all systems, it's to transcend the need for the negative retroactions of those systems by rendering them technically obsolete. So the big problem in New York last century was horse crap all over the streets, and the politicians used to run for who's going to get rid of the horse crap, and I'm going to, no, vote for me, I'll get rid of the horse crap. The thing that got rid of the horse crap eventually was the motor car. No need to vote for it, technological solution. It came with its problems, I'll give you that, but it illustrates how technology updates systems. So it's a case of using this system, which we can do, to leapfrog to the next. This system didn't essentially create these technologies, human ingenuity did. And money was just facilitated for the things that suited the interest of the system at that time to change. I think this motor car thing, we can still make money out of that. But the level of efficiency that can be absorbed by the system can only be what it can take. It can't be any more than what it can take to keep turning over a profit. So gradually things come in, but they come in with a fight. And so essentially we do need a new system. We do need to get to a new model of operations on this planet to be a sustainable and collaborative species that look towards their own betterment. But yeah, we have to be in reality. We have to go from where we are to there. So.
Yeah. What would life be like after the transition? Big question. Tough one. I don't know. I don't know is the answer. It could be expected that a 95% reduction in crime. Most crime is monetary related or born out of the need to steal or to seek differential advantage, things like fraud. So once the reinforcement mechanism is not there, you could expect to see a very large reduction in crime.
No war.
No war.
You won't have war because you'll be sharing your resources in a collaborative and sensible fashion.
Nothing to fight over.
Nothing to fight over because there's no artificial mode of exchange. You'll have far less irrational behaviour as well because it has a huge psychological impact, this idea of owning everything into what we do with each other. We own each other, all the time. And so people in a resource-based economy would be very different, but people are very different now than they were 500 years ago. If you went back to someone who'd just come back from war on a horse to give a note back to his king, and he's travelled a few hundred miles to do it, and it's taken him, like, God knows, a couple of weeks or something, and then to take it back to the battlefield, and you say, mate, one day you can have this little thing, called a phone, yeah, that basically you just pick up this thing and you go, King, yeah, we've got a problem on the front line. Oh, yeah, okay, sort that out then. Okay. You'd be like, hey, you're a utopian dreamer. What are you talking about? Well, you see what I mean? We can't imagine that, what from that perspective. And so, yes, we don't know what it will be like, but when human needs are being met through a collaborative effort, it will be a far less stress-inducing place to live, and one which you can actually fulfil your own personal ambitions and in life. I think nothing higher calling for me.
Yeah. And any technology sufficiently advanced would seem like magic to somebody not versed in that technology. So, like James said, 500 years maybe 1,000 years. Say 2,000 years. What would somebody from 2,000 years ago think when you showed them an electric light? It would be pure witchcraft. It would be magic.
You'd be burnt. You'd probably be burnt at the stake if you bruise one of those.
And there's no reason to expect that 2,000 years in the future we won't be the Neanderthals. We won't be the primitives.
Which undoubtedly we more than likely will. I'm sure comedians of the future will get a fair good few laughs out of our culture. That's for sure. It's going to provide hours of enlightening entertainment, so don't you worry about that. So I think that covers the questions for this particular sheet. If you want to find out more, please go to the zeitgeistmovement.com or the venusproject.com. Thanks very much, and we'll see you soon.